Let's start with an uncomfortable question. If Islamic societies are morally superior, if Sharia is God's perfect law, if Islamic governance is ideal, then why do millions of Muslims leave Islamic countries and migrate to the West? Not to China, not to Iran, not to Saudi Arabia. They migrate to secular, liberal Western societies. That contradiction alone deserves serious discussion. Why Muslims migrate to the West? People don't migrate in massive numbers for ideology. They migrate for safety, opportunity, and freedom. Muslims migrate because Western societies offer rule of law, economic opportunity, free speech, women's rights, minority protections, freedom from religious coercion. These are not products of Islam. They are products of secularism achieved by limiting religion. This is the first hard truth. Muslims flee Islamic systems and seek refuge in societies built on values Islam historically opposed. That's not racism, that's observable reality. From refuge to entitlement, here's where the problem begins. Migration itself is not the issue. The issue begins when gratitude turns into entitlement. Instead of adapting to secular laws, some groups demand special religious exemptions, blasphemy protections, gender segregation, Sharia-compliant parallel systems. In other words, they escape Islamic systems, then try to recreate them inside Western democracies. That's not integration, that's ideological expansion. Sharia is not just personal faith. Defenders often say, Sharia is just personal guidance. That's false. Sharia includes laws on apostasy, laws on blasphemy, laws on women's testimony, laws on inheritance inequality, laws criminalizing homosexuality. Laws subordinating non-Muslim Sharia is legal supremacism. It claims divine authority over civil law. Western societies are built on one principle. No idea is above criticism. No law is above reform. Sharia rejects both. That's the clash. The Sharia demand is not theoretical. This isn't speculation. Polls across multiple Western countries consistently show significant minorities supporting Sharia, support for blasphemy laws, support for criminalizing apostasy. You don't need conspiracy theories. You don't need far-right propaganda. You only need to listen to what people openly say when they believe God's law outranks man-made law. Once you accept divine law, democracy becomes optional. That's the danger. Consequences of Sharia thinking in the West. When Sharia thinking grows, consequences follow. Self-censorship, fear of religious criticism, pressure on women, honor-based violence, parallel legal systems, intimidation of reformers and ex-Muslims. Western freedoms survive only when no belief system is immune. The moment fear enters the conversation, freedom leaves. This is not about race or hate, let me be clear. This is not about race. This is not about skin color. This is not about Muslims as people. It's about ideas that refuse limits. Christianity was defanged by secularism. Islam has not been, yet that's the difference. Muslims migrate to the West because secularism works. But secularism collapses if it protects ideologies that reject it. Western societies must choose universal law, individual rights, freedom of speech, or religious exceptionalism. You cannot have both. Ideas must adapt and will be rejected. That's not brutality, that's reality. Criticizing ideas is not hatred of people. Free societies survive through honest discussion.